What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking 3v3 and bounty hunters. I know 3v3 can kind of make bounty hunters really confusing and kind of complicating because, well, you got to choose if you're going to go for the contract or not. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the teams I use, some of the teams I'm going to be testing, as well as some teams I'm going to recommend for you guys how to use them. We're going to be watching a couple clips, and then I'm also going to talk about how to place your bounty hunters, whether you're like sub-relic GAC or you're up in Division 1 and you see nothing but relic characters. So let's get started. Squads. So this first squad is Aura Singlead. She's probably my favorite bounty hunter lead, if you guys haven't noticed. So this pretty much is just that same kind of gimmick where you got a couple bounty hunters that are stealth, and then you have one character that's not stealth. So in this case, it's Best Carmando. I'm gonna try to go up against like some CLS Han Chewie teams against this, and hopefully they don't kill Best Carmando, or like a Jedi Knight Revan, where, as you've seen in my previous videos, they just get stuck behind them, and my bounty hunters can pretty much do whatever they want. And the reason I have 3 different versions of this team is because I put all my bounty hunters on offense, and the reason I do that now is because I like to have every single one of them available in case I have to rotate one out, because a lot of these characters have a lot of different spots on other teams. So I'm constantly rotating, like kind of like that third spot here. So, but as you notice, all 3 of these guys can ignore time, which is important because Aura Singh's contract is actually pretty achievable in 3v3. And then this last team down here, this is such a solid team, guys. This can kill just about anything outside of GLs, and I like to use this team against characters that revive a lot. So if there's like a Night Sister team with Zombie on there, or a Mon Mothma team, I like to take this team in there and just farm that character that gets revived over and over, because remember, under the Aura Sing lead, when you kill somebody, you put your team back in stealth, and then once the contract gets completed, when you kill somebody, you get turn meter and recover protection. So this is a great team to get full banners on. So Relic Mon Mothma team, I believe, yeah, right here. We definitely have them outsped, so speed is not really an issue here. And Grief in 3v3 is really good, but don't keep him and Bosk on the same team, just because you're not going to have any damage on the team. It's going to be really beefy. There's a lot of health protection recovery, but so like right here, we wait for the revive. We're losing protection. Grief's going to get it back, but just to be safe, we're going to complete the contract. And then we're going to finish with full banners. So take out Biggs, take out Wedge with an unnecessarily big hit, and full 54. So next team we're going to talk about is Bosk. Bosk on offense is another good team to use to get full banners. And the way you get full banners is you need characters that debuff. So all these characters here do debuffs. Dengar is an absolute MVP because he just applies so many debuffs. He's a great way to top off your team before you do that finishing kill. So teams I go up against with this, it really just depends on the team, but I try to look for those like resistance hero teams, and if your boss can outspeed their Finn, then you can kind of disrupt that team and finish with full banners. Let's see. So these teams down here, these are like worst case scenarios. If my Boba and Django aren't available, I'll use Embo. I don't really like Embo in 3v3, I'll be honest, just because when he throws his hat, he loses 50% protection. His contract is almost impossible to get. It's pretty difficult, to be honest. And you're kind of just giving away banners, because like I said, he takes away his own protection. This isn't a bad team down here, just because Cad Bane does recover protection in his own kit. So under this team, he's always topping himself off. Not a lot of damage though, but it works. So for those of you that are not at Division 1, or you're just barely getting Division 1 and you don't see a whole lot of relics, and your bounty hunters are like gear 12, gear 11, gear 10, this is a great team for defense. Okay, once you get into that relic territory, bounty hunters aren't that great on defense as much, but this is great. And my advice to you guys that are in that subdivision, I would highly recommend putting a tenacity cross on your boss and mod him with speed and tenacity, because When you get to that relic level, tenacity is great, but there's so many kits that get stronger with potency and stuff. So I mod my boss with protection and more like just because characters hit so much harder at that level. But when you're in that lower divisions, guys, this is a great defensive team. Your opponent's gonna get stuck behind it, and like I said, if you put tenacity on your boss, it's gonna make a huge difference. So let's go ahead and look at that clip again. We're gonna go against the resistance team. I don't think Poe has his Zeta. Let me check. Oh, we fast forward. We run too much. No, so he doesn't have his leadership Zeta, but it's okay. Doesn't really make a difference with this team. So we barely outspeed resistance hero Finn. I think it was like 4 or 5 speed when I did this, so we're lucky. If you're trying to do this team and you can't outspeed their Finn, you can always use Jango Fett to give your boss that extra boost. So you would replace Boba with Jango. Definitely keep Dengar. Or actually, I don't know. You can take Dengar off at this point because I forgot. Like, you don't really cover a lot of protection with Jango lead. But that's the other thing with Jango lead. I only use his lead for the speed. I only use his lead for the speed because his contract is so out of reach in 3v3. Don't use his lead and plan to get it. If you get it, it's a pretty interesting battle. I really would like to see that, like why the battle's taking so long, but you're just not going to get it realistically. So 54 banners again. So next we'll be discussing the leftovers, is what I like to call them. Leftovers are the rest of your bounty hunters, and you're trying to figure out what to do with them. I'll tell you guys straight up. I never have a plan for these guys because they're not really strong characters in 3v3. All of these teams are very, very specific for different teams in different scenarios. I don't really like any of these characters, but if you have a weak team, if you see a weak defense and you don't want to use something good, you can definitely send this team in. This team can definitely take out a lot of weaker stuff. So in the clip I'm going to show in a second, it's going to be this squad here. This is not a bad squad. This is actually not bad because you get the speed boost, and the cool thing with Jango lead is his reward for the contract. He gives everyone bounty hunter resolve, and then they get plus 35% offense for characters who have it. But all 3 of these guys have it from the start, so they're also going to get extra offense. So that's something to keep in mind. Dengar lead isn't a bad option. I don't use it too much. The only way I have to use this lead is if my opponent sets like 2 Pretons, which is kind of annoying. So with Bosk's lead, to get the contract, you have to attack the weakest character. But if you have 2 Pretons that are like blocking you, or a single Preton that's blocking you, use Dengar lead. Because with Dengar lead, you can actually complete the contract, because his is the opposite. You have to attack the healthiest character. So you're not going to recover a whole lot of health and protection through his lead, outside of just their own individual kits. But it's definitely an option. Same thing here. This is just for extra speed. This team down here, I used to run this team a while ago back in the day, and it's not a bad idea. So this also works at lower levels. So even if you have like a 4-star Aura Sing, or you know, gear 10, gear 11, or something like that, when you're at the lower levels, this works. You just got to make sure you have her Zeta on her lead and Nest's Zeta. So the way this team works is it's just like the Beskar Mando team, where, you know, 2 of my bounty hunters are stealth and then 1 character is not. So this forces your opponent to attack Nest, and you know, kind of buys you time to either complete the contract or to kill off one of their characters. We go up against a subpar noob team here. So Newt, gear 12. I just threw this team in there because I was like, everyone dispels, and I don't want to deal with Droidica or Magnagar's taunt, but I'm going to show you guys why I don't like Embo. So, start off with Greedo, and then here we go. We're going to kill Newt. Yeah, it's super cool, a lot of damage, but look at that. Just half our protection. And like I said, his contract is pretty hard to complete, so, and we have to complete it if we want to get that protection back. So, for those of you that are trying to be super efficient, you could run him under Bosk if you really want to use him. But outside of that, I wouldn't run him under his own lead. I would use him purely as a utility tool, just for like the dispel and the basic. Same thing with Greedo. Don't you really like Greedo? I don't like using him anywhere, to be honest. I'm sorry, but Greedo just sucks. They need to do some fixing on this kit. Cad Bane isn't bad, but a lot of you don't have Cad Bane geared, and I don't blame you because, you know, he doesn't do much. So, we didn't even recover all of our protection when Embo did his kit. So yeah, only 51 banners. And then lastly, we're going to go over where some of your bounty hunters might end up if they're not in a bounty hunter team. So, this is a pretty solid team on defense, guys. If you have this setup, this is pretty good. You don't need L3, you can use something else, but this is a pretty good team. And I know there's no bounty hunters here, but I think a lot of people that Beskar, they're going to do this just because they don't know where to put IG-11 and Quill. And personally, I don't know where to put IG-11 and Quill either. I really don't. 3v3 kind of messes them up a little bit. So I might actually just stick this on defense just because I normally don't use 88 my bounty hunters. You guys can. If you guys, like, let's say like you're trying to run like a boss team and you need someone with an AoE, 88 will work just fine. But for me, since I have them all, I always stick them with droids. And then lastly, the one bounty hunter that I'm going to tell you guys not to use, and I'm actually going to take all of her mods off in 3v3, and I want to give them to someone else, is Zam. She's just not great for 3v3, and the reason is because she gains turn meter based on how many characters you have. So she's not going to get that like 100% when a thermal detonator explodes. And then also her unique, which is where she gets most of her stats from, she's not going to be gaining all that because she gains 20% per Scoundrel ally, unfortunately. She's just too slow. Thermal detonators aren't super great with bounty hunters in 3v3. I mean, if you absolutely were going to use her, and you guys just love using Zam, let's say like for whatever reason you only have like Zam, Dengar, and like Greedo, you could run her lead. You can definitely run her lead because there is some protection, health recovery. But yeah, I'm honestly considering just taking all of her mods off and giving them to somebody else. But that's it for today, guys. If you guys have any questions or any ideas for 3v3, let me know down in the comments. I'm definitely going to be recording my 3v3s Grand Arenas live for you guys. That way you can see, you know, mistakes I make, the mistakes I don't make. And we'll be going over that kind of like with each week of Grand Arena. So that's something I'm going to start that's new for the channel. And if you guys haven't joined the Bounty Hunter Discord yet, I will leave a link in the description below, as well as my info on Discord. But other than that, guys, 3v3, I'm really curious to see where Beskar's going to shine. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to use him on offense, just because the way I mod him, 0 speed, all health, all protection. I don't think he's going to be an offense option for me. So, yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.